And apparently some are still rocking out today as spirits. The ghost of singer Jim Morrison spotted not only at his gravesite in Paris, but thousands of miles away where he made awesome music for the Doors. Also, the spirits of 60s and 70s rockers Janis Joplin and Jimi Hendrix still jamming out from the beyond. Grunge rocker Kurt Cobain haunting his old house in Seattle. Also, John Lennon's ghost in New York. And Buddy Holly's plane he crashed and died in still flying around Iowa today. Unexplained Cases Live, the Ghosts of Rock Legends Jam Session starts now.
Oh my God! That intro! My gosh!
Dude, I think my ears are gone. I wasn't expecting that.
God.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Unexplained Cases Live. Yes, we are rocking it out tonight with Darren, Dedo, Maryam the Medium,
Sup,
and me.
What did you say?
We're gonna do like one of those things, like when they're
Nice. Yes. Let's all get our cell phones for that. So hey,
play some
Kenny.
Freebird, man. Hey, we didn't do Leonard Skinner. We didn't do the
What's
boys
that?
that died in the plane crash.
Hey,
Never thought about
hey.
that.
Don't have any rights here. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. So Sydney and Rob and Dawn, Greg, Penny. Hey, welcome. Yeah, you have to give you the props here, Mr. Dedo. You're the one that came up with the suggestion. So
Well, it's just kind of it's
big
very
boy?
topical.
Yay!
Who
You
did
get a gold.
something?
You get a gold star.
I want a scratch and sniff sticker bookmark is what I want. Go really old school.
We can afford
That's
that.
nice. That's nice. Yeah.
Maybe we should sell those merch Unexplained Cases scratch and sniff bookmarks.
But what would they smell like? That's actually the question.
Yeah,
It smells.
They're gonna smell like
ghost.
Maryam.
It smells. Well.
It smells like what?
It's gonna smell like Maryam.
Which
I
is a
don't
lot better
wear
than.
perfume.
Hmm.
Now that joke could go
Maryam
off
Funk.
the rails fast.
But you do bathe. I mean, you do
Yeah,
some
sometimes-
proper hygiene. Okay.
Sometimes I do twice a day, actually.
Nice.
Good.
These are all riveting questions.
Which is
Jordan,
probably why, Darren, there's no water left in California.
Because you're taking like a 30-minute shower twice a day. They're gonna start finding you.
I do a shower when I have to wash my hair, and then a bath is part of my clearing the day. But now I feel
It's a
guilty.
good idea.
Well, it is, but not if we're losing water, and you said we'll be out of water. Darren we were having this riveting conversation off air with Darren about, was it California losing all the water or something? Or
Yeah, California, Nevada, and Arizona because the Colorado River's starting to dry up. So eventually one day this part of the country will probably run out of water. But details. I mean, who needs that?
You're basically in a
I
desert
need to take
anyway.
my bath.
Yeah.
That's true.
know.
I'll start drinking water from a cactus.
I'll have to walk out to the lake with buckets and fill my bathtub.
We're going to go like back to the old days of the Wild West.
Well, Bruce
Let me,
would do that.
I got to go do the worst. Where are you going, honey? I got to go do the worst.
Let's see. So that's Darren's cowboy impression.
Exactly.
We've actually lowered ourselves to impressions now. So
Hey, the Lone Star State. Hello, Trista.
Linda, how we're doing. I think you're getting a good taste of it. How's everybody here? Jordan, welcome, Jordan, our pal. So it's good to have him back in the old chat.
Hi, Jordan.
Hello.
Jordan and I might be doing TikTok together on Tuesday.
Really?
Yeah, because
exciting.
Well, first off, I realized by watching one of Jordan's lives that TikTok lets two people do it now. I heard it.
Oh,
it's not what I
didn't
meant.
know that.
But also TikTok is just like it's
Insanity.
Just like, it's like psychic on crack. It's just like question. It's just like, okay, everybody needs to chill for a second. And the thing's like scrolling so fast. You're like, you want to do what's your, but Jordan's so chill. I'm like, can you and Jordan's young. So that's why I'm like, Jordan, you can handle this. I can't. I'm too old for it.
Oh, God, we're talking about our age again.
I know, right? See,
Squeaky hips and.
Hey, we're all young here. I mean, come on, you're as young as you feel, basically, unless you're sitting down and you're making those type of sounds when you're sitting down or getting up, and
and
it's like,
we are
creak.
And that's when you know you've made it. Yeah,
no,
that's right.
You know what the sign is? So Bruce bought shoes that were comfortable.
Oh, did he? God forbid he bought Skechers.
No, they're not. I have some really cute Skechers, though. Where are you going with that? I do.
They're fine shoes. Don't get me wrong.
Judgy.
And he bought these really ugly shoes because I won't even say how ugly because then you'll be like, that's. And Bruce is really fashionable, for lack of better words. That sounded lame, but he is. He's very conscious about what he wears and how he dresses. And when he said, "Oh, I bought really comfortable shoes," I was like, "That's it. We're done. It's over.
Game over."
I'm going to go hang out with Jordan because Jordan's young. So I'll see you later.
Better vibe.
Oh, my goodness. Speaking of vibes, I think we can slide onto the show now because that's what everybody's here for.
Can we I just feel like talking. I really don't feel like it.
See? We
may end up talking for another 54 minutes the way things are going.
Depending on how this goes, I mean, we've got 12. I think that's the number that you pulled. Will we make it all through? If we zip through those, I mean, hey, we could be taking requests. So
let's just pull Jordan on. Have Jordan do all the work.
See?
I did that on my Instagram live last week. I couldn't figure out someone was asking a question. I couldn't get the answer. I'm like, Jordan, can you do this for me, please?
Well, see, it's nice to have a phone a friend or phone a psychic or whatever.
Also, Jordan's like an antenna, just like, everything and anything.
Yeah.
There's no need for the whole connection. It's just like, boop.
So you see, that's where things are different. Like, if you call other people an antenna, that wouldn't be a compliment. But when you're talking about a medium or someone who's intuitive, that's a compliment.
Kind of a necessity, probably,
right?
To be able to. Yes, exactly.
I'm an antenna, but I've also, when I was Jordan's age, I was an antenna also. But as you get older, you're just like, and Jordan's learning too, like how to not be an antenna 24/7. But until then, I'll take advantage. And use and abuse instead of teach and enlighten.
As we do with you every week on this show, actually, I think, right? Hopefully you don't feel used and abused. We try to actually veil it in.
Very subtle.
No, you're not subtle about it. Nothing is subtle.
Wow, I don't think subtle is our middle name at all. There, basically.
All right, let's do this.
So let's get stupid. That's enough craziness there.
Let's get physical. Remember that song?
Oh, nice.
I do actually. Olivia Newton-John. Yes.
Yes. Wait, is there something?
I'll take Xanadu for 500, Alex.
That wasn't Xanadu. That was.
I know it wasn't,
physical.
but it's yes.
Xanadu was the roller skates.
Yes, exactly.
Right. All right. Wow.
Gene Kelly. Yes.
Gene Kelly.
Yeah, he was in that. I'm pretty sure he was. Yeah. Rick left. Rick, Google it, please.
Gene Kelly was in Xanadu?
I'm pretty sure.
What did he do?
Man, I'm glad that I spent 2.5 hours doing all this work because now I'm looking up Gene Kelly on frickin' Google.
Yeah, see, you work with that while I move over here to try to get our deck up on the screen here and shared. We don't need to have technical issues there. That would just be sad. Oh, wow.
It says Xanadu, Olivia Newton-John, and Gene Kelly's 80s movies. What it said? Oh, yeah, he's in there.
What did he do?
He was kind of like the old...
Pull it up, Rick. Play it really quick.
Well, hey, you pad for some time here. I think I'm going to have to play for a little bit.
Is the thing blown up?
So, no,
good.
I can't bring our deck onto the screen, so I'm just.
You want to hear a really personal, gross, scary story?
Go right ahead.
I think I've had this. I think this has happened to me before, which is even worse. But the other day I was talking to Bruce and I was kissing Oliver at the same time. And because I was talking, his tongue went in my mouth and our tongue swished for a second. I freaked out. This is my child. And I just tongued my child.
What a incestuous relationship with a canine.
Well, don't talk while you're kissing your dog. Because
That's
if you
lesson
open
one,
your mouth, the
right?
tongue's going somewhere.
right? That's lesson 1.
Yes, that works.
But
Dawn,
wait
are
a
you
minute.
still gonna do the TikTok with me after that? No.
See, I think he's having a second thought.
I could take my laptop and flip around the Google Drive and like show it in there to see, and then Maryam could look from the computer to the camera.
No,
well, everyone knows what Jim Morris looks like. I mean,
yeah, I mean, basically, here's what we can do. So, dude, you've got
somebody hit the oh shit button. Here we go.
You've got the information on Jimbo, so you could start talking about that. And I'll catch up here shortly. So it's all good.
Is this Jim Morrison's house? Like he drew on the walls, or what's the deal?
I think that might be his hotel room. That's
a hotel room that he stayed at.
But did they draw on the walls, or this is just?
I think it's like a shrine type thing.
Yes.
People go there to
Yes.
Okay,
exactly.
this picture of him standing, and then
that is at the cemetery. Yeah.
Is that's not real?
It says, okay, real quick. On the morning of Saturday, July 3rd, 1971, Jim Morrison, a.k.a. the Lizard King, the lead singer of The Doors, died of a heart attack brought on by drugs in Paris. And then in 1997, rock historian Brett Meisner visited the cemetery in France where Morrison is buried. His assistant snapped that photo you're talking about that features, it looks like a ghostly apparition with an eerie resemblance to Morrison. The photo was deemed authentic after examination by dozens of paranormal and photographic experts. It almost looks like that famous pose that's right next to it. If the audience is, I have to flip back over, Rick. I apologize if you've done that, but so you don't think, I mean, that is one of the creepiest, craziest photos I've ever seen.
I mean, it's not him. Nothing about that feels real to me. But I guess maybe when I say it doesn't feel real, I mean, it's not him. Maybe it's somebody else.
And is he still in that cemetery though? Because, or is he just checked out? And
who's this guy at the cemetery? Plus, I want to hear you say the name of the cemetery. I noticed that you just casually jumped over that.
That's a news anchor trick. When you don't know what it is, you kind of twist the words around because you don't know what it is. Exactly. I took Spanish, so it says Paris Lachaise, maybe? Is that how you say it? The French. I
thought you would botch it worse. I don't know, but it sounded good. Okay, who's this guy at the graveyard?
He is a rock historian. So this was in 1997. He was there.
Okay.
Thousands of people go there, but it looks like Jim kind of rocking out there behind him.
Oh, there's another ghost. The same guy's there again?
No, I mean that's so there's. See, what do we got? We've got. I wish we can kind of. We can share with the audience. So it's basically the guy standing in front of, I guess, the gravesite of Morrison, and then he doesn't have a crypt, I don't think, but there's something behind him, and kind of looks like Jim when he was doing his thing for that famous photo shoot. Looks like a guy in one of those 60s shirts, kind of like leather pants he used to wear.
Oh, I see, Rick. You poked the picture out. I thought it was in two places. Okay, I got it. All right, so hold on. I'll connect with all this while Rick's doing whatever Rick's. And I know how pissed you are because you spend so much time on this deck that you better get that thing up if it's the last thing we do.
Let's just talk about Sasquatch for 45 minutes. It has nothing to do with the show whatsoever tonight.
I love how she worded that too, basically, because it's very true.
Okay.
I guess it's do we think that's actually him, or could that just be another spirit? Really?
That doesn't feel like him to me at all. But what do I know? I don't know this guy.
Hopefully something.
All right, hold on. Let me focus.
Focus, Maryam.
I can't get past his I can't get past his nipples.
You talking about Jim Morrison?
Yeah, I need to enlarge this picture and get can he put a shirt on, please? Just
it looks like he needs a sandwich too. Look how skinny he is. I love that 60s, 70s type of necklace he's got on.
The benefit of drugs.
Yeah. Let's see.
So let's see. Jim Morrison.
Light my fire.
I don't know. I've never listened to him. Obviously, I know who he is, but I don't know.
That good. Back to you.
Okay, so that image, that ghost image is not him. He is not there. And so the question is, do they think he's haunted that cemetery, or that was just the only thing that came up and they thought, oh,
well, allegedly, they think because he's buried there that his ghost is there. I know I think one of the studios in LA where the Doors recorded some of their albums, they think that in Hollywood is haunted by his spirit.
So that location, even though I can't see it, but he is there. They're showing me him. He's like sitting on the couch there, cigarette, super relaxed. Like, obviously he's not smoking in the afterlife, but there's this it's like I don't even know if he was a smoker in real life, but
he did a little bit of everything. Yeah.
I kind of assuming with the time and stuff, but just like the cigarette is just like this image of someone super chill, that is there. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't interact. He only interacts with certain people that go there. And the interaction is very subtle, and it's not like anyone would ever know that's who was there or communicating with them. He doesn't make himself like super loud and super noticeable. There's this subtle communication that he does do with certain people that he has like this musical alignment with. Mm-hmm. He is there by choice. He's not stuck. He's saying something like that he has like this eternal high because he has this, he's managing multiple realms and knows how to kind of go through realms.
He was a very spiritual guy into like Native American type things when he was alive, at least, some of the songs and the Lizard King.
Yeah, he's chill. He's fine. He's like, but he doesn't haunt, obviously, and he doesn't like show himself like that. Like that's why I think my initial reaction was just like, that's not him. You guys all know that, right? Because he doesn't do that. He's really subtle and he's very reserved, and his connection with people is very intentional. And so there's a reason behind there. Again, there's like a musical connection that's there, but he is at that location in Los Angeles.
So he's chilling in. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I was trying to see if I could find that. And I mean, it wouldn't look as good, but the deck that I don't know where it is. All right, you want to go on to the next one?
Sure.
Number 2, another. Well, that's not good. Now mine just went dead. All right, come on. It's Janis Joplin. If you got that picture.
Want me to read it?
No, I got her here. Sorry, I hit the. Janis Joplin lived and died in room 105 at the Landmark Hotel, where she was staying with her new band, Full Tilt Boogie. Janis and the band were recording her 4th album at Sunset Sound Recorders, or recording maybe, blocks away from the Landmark Hotel in Hollywood. Her road manager, John Cook, went to the Landmark Hotel, where he discovered, sadly, her body in room 105. She was found alone, face down, and wedged between the dresser and the bed after injecting heroin sometime before. What a terrible way to die. Oh, my God. Of course, me and Bobby McGee, Buy Me a Mercedes-Benz. Let's see, what else? I'm trying to think of some other songs. Buy Another Piece of My Heart. So if we were showing these images to the folks at home, we have a picture of the hotel, a couple of Janis, and that must be room 105. Is that what you have on your computer?
Yeah, on my yes.
I'm trying to see if I could find it. And then
she didn't want to live. She didn't want to live to be very old anyway. She didn't want to grow old. The drug use was fear of not having the lifestyle, not having the life, this experience, losing it, not being able to maintain it. And so as she was getting, how old was she when she died?
27. It's kind of weird because Morrison, Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, and Kurt Cobain, I believe, were all 27 years old. Isn't that weird?
For her, there was this fear of getting old and not being who she is. And so the drug use intensified with an intention of, this is how I want to go.
Oh, here we go. We're back in business.
Joining us.
So that's the hotel. That must be the room that everybody, same thing like where, Jim Morrison lived in Paris. She lived life very hard, a hard drinker, a lot of drugs. Maybe just, I don't want to grow to be old, or I'm invincible. I think a lot of those people back then thought nothing would kill them.
For her, she wasn't feeling invincible. She never intended to live a long life to where she would age. She never intended to do that. She wanted to just blast through this experience, not move through the experience, but just have it and not lose it. And so she was willing to die from a drug overdose, at least doing what she loved. And that was not just drugs, but that experience and that lifestyle. That was her. So they're saying that they're saying she's haunting something somewhere, or? Well,
just people say that, her spirit still felt in the hotel room where she died, there at the landmark in that room 105. She crossed over. She's still there. I don't know.
She's not crossed over. And again, she's not. Actually, I take that back. She has crossed over.
Okay.
She has. That isn't her, but that is her. Like, she's crossed over, but she does come back to this location. She does come back to this place. She holds on to it. Hasn't come back through body yet. She's not stuck either, but just not wanting to let go. She doesn't want to let go. So she's there.
So she's still chilling at the landmark then.
Yeah, I mean, she's not really chilling like Jim Morrison was. She comes and goes, and there's more of a sadness when she's there, when she comes back to that place, and just the not wanting to let go of it. It's different for her, yeah.
Hey, Rick, if you can, since we couldn't show it to people earlier, can you go back to the shot of the ghost where Jim Morrison's grave is, just to show people? Because I didn't catch who asked the question, but they wanted to know why Jim, actually maybe it was Ronnie, if Jim is not crossed over, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so this image which is in the middle next to the nipples, as you said earlier, so that looks like the same picture in life, but you don't think that's him.
It's not him. Jim Morrison doesn't make him, he's a subtle guy. He is a subtle, when he chooses to connect, he's intentional about it. I'm not saying that he was subtle on stage. I don't know. I never saw him perform. I don't know what he was like or what he was about.
He's a wild man.
Intentional with his, he was always intentional with everything he did. And he's intentional now with who he interacts with and what he does. It's not him. I'm sorry. I don't know who it is and why someone's doing that, but
gotcha.
Doesn't even feel real to me, but what do I know? Okay.
Jimmy. So Liam Gallagher of Oasis. You remember that band? No. Waterfalls. Claims the late legend Jimi Hendrix visited Liam, while he was previewing songs for an album at the Electric Lady Studios. This happens to be where Hendrix, who choked on his own vomit, died in London at the age of 27 in September of 1970, recording his final record in that studio. Now, it could be possible that Jimmy's spirit chose to visit Liam because of the singer's long admiration of the pioneering electric guitarist. A lot of weird stuff about his death. Some people said he was murdered, or his manager let him die. He drank too much wine that night. But there's the studio right there with Jimmy, and so that's where Liam Gallagher from Oasis says that he either felt or saw Jimi Hendrix. So is Jimmy still rocking out over there, or is he crossed over?
That's not Liam in one of those pictures, is it? That's
no, that's probably studio engineers. I don't think
who's
that's
Liam.
The guy from Oasis. You would know. I'm not going to sing it, but he's like, oh, that group.
Oh yeah, sing it.
No. Today is going to be the day that they throw it all back to you. That's about all.
Oh.
You know that song?
No,
I
don't.
I know. I've already scared. I'm sure blazing ratings right now.
God, this studio is so pretty. I can't get past how pretty the picture is.
Isn't that nice? I think it's one of those like pretty, people want to work in the same place that, Jimi Hendrix, that type of thing. Wonderwall. Thank you, Sean.
So nobody controlled him to that degree to where someone would let him do something like that. He made his own choices and did what he wanted. Even though there were times that he was controlled and felt control, ultimately he took his own life. I'm feeling a blurry line between taking his own life and like an overdose. There was this sense of as much as he loved the work, there was something about his existence that was very difficult and very hard to manage and just was overwhelming. And so it's kind of no different than when the average person that's not famous takes their own life. Like, it didn't matter that he had the music and the money and whatever fame, he was still struggling. And so there's a fine line between taking his own life and a drug overdose.
Mm-hmm.
Is he still there? I don't feel him. He feels like he's long gone and come back.
Maybe he had depression. Some people thought he was maybe bipolar. Ronnie says he was very sad and no one could tell.
Yeah.
I know his bandmates thought that maybe he had some mental issues. I mean, he drank hard, did a lot of drugs. He's buried near Seattle. I don't know if you feel if he's at his graveside.
I don't. He's passed on and he's already come back through in a new body. Oh.
Like timing.
I said that at the same time as Jordan. I agree. He's passed over. I feel like he's come in another body too. And he didn't have mental illness. He had trauma. And so it caused serious depression, which could have resulted in, mental illness, but it was, I don't know the logistics of that, but he wasn't born with mental illness. There was trauma at a young age that caused the depression and the drinking and all that. But yeah, I'm with Jordan. He crossed over.
Arguably the best guitarist of all time. All right, who we got next, Rick?
Buddy Holly.
Yeah, Buddy Holly. On February 3rd, 1959, American rock and roll musicians Buddy Holly, Ritchie Valens, and the Big Bopper J.P. Richardson were killed in a plane crash near Clear Lake, Iowa, together with pilot Roger Peterson. It is called The Day the Music Died. Clear Lake residents report seeing a phantom plane in the area where the crash happened. Also, shadowy figures near the crash site. Buddy Holly's music has been heard near his grave in Lubbock, Texas, also. So obviously this was very sad. The wreckage of when the plane, they were flying in, terrible conditions. I'm sure, the wings iced up or something like that happened. Another young guy, maybe 27 too, I think. I'm not positive about that. Or he might have been 24 actually. But Ritchie Valens was like 20 or 21. I don't think the Big Bopper wasn't that old either. So what do you think? Is there some kind of a phantom plane there? Or they crossed over? Or
is this the same guy?
Yeah, that's Buddy Holly, top and bottom.
Okay. Let's see.
And then obviously that's the Iowa plane crash.
Okay. That picture isn't. Yeah, he's crossed over. He's crossed over and already come back through 2 lifetimes.
Oh.
There's something that I can't begin to explain yet, but it's like the collective energy of people wanting to see and needing to see, which has caused these visions of the plane or the music. It's almost as if, like, this is why I can't say I can exactly explain it, but it's almost like the collective consciousness has created that again. Buddy Holly isn't there and isn't doing anything like that. But yeah, he did go back for a while. I don't know how long, because time isn't relevant in the spirit world, but it feels like a few years maybe. He was going back to the site. He was trying to like make sense of what happened. And there was this back and forth. There was this, connecting to that place that was happening.
Interesting. You see that?
Yeah. Jordan, what do you mean? There's something karmic around Buddy Holly. What do you mean? Explain that more.
Is it like an aura thing?
Well, I'm not. And so everyone has karma. And are you saying that the plane crash was karmic? If that might be what he's saying.
I got you. What about the couple other, the pilot or the couple of other musicians? Are they, they say the shadowy figures, are they there? Are they gone?
Yeah, I do feel like connection. Like, I feel like there is a connection to the shadowy figures that people see, that it is, actually they're saying some of the shadowy figures are actually workers and other people that were on the plane.
Oh.
Like, not, it could be the other, the other people on the plane
Gotcha.
is some of what people are seeing. Those people are, there's a handful of the people that were in, not only on the plane, but were in this picture that have since passed, that are really confused by it and so like conflicted and saddened by it, that they do definitely come back. And that's where I'm saying there's like this collective. It's almost like he's going over and over it again, as well some other memories. Yeah, very well could be. I mean, that's what I'm feeling like. That's what the other people involved are doing. That's what I'm feeling. Like, I feel like, to me, Buddy Holly is crossed over and come back into body multiple times and is done with that. But everyone else is still, like what Jordan said, they're still there. They're mulling it over. They're figuring it out. There's so many people that are stuck by that crash.
Right. Well, it's such a sad, iconic thing that happened way back when. So, okay.
Right.
All right. Are we going back to my hometown? Where are we going, Rick? Elvis. Elvis Presley died on August 16th, 1977 at his home in Graceland in Memphis, Tennessee. Doctors said he died of a heart attack, likely brought on by his addiction to prescription barbiturates. Elvis is said to haunt Graceland, which makes sense, but also the Las Vegas Hilton, where he performed in the hotel's nightclub until 1976. His ghost has been sighted in multiple places in the hotel, the penthouse where he stayed, and in the basement where he would hang out with musicians after the show. Even singer Wayne Newton has claimed to see Elvis's ghost during a performance in Las Vegas. So we always hear about Graceland, of course, that's where he died and where he lived. But then he spent a lot of time, out there in Las Vegas at the Hilton performing. He was the headliner for years. So what do you think? Is Elvis's ghost popping around?
How funny would it be if I said he was still alive?
Yes, say it.
Oh, that is funny.
Now, some people say Jim Morrison faked his death too, but you didn't pick up on that.
No, he didn't fake his death.
All right, I just had to bring it up.
That's funny.
Well, now I hate to be the joy kill, but we investigated the urban legend of Elvis, and we declared he's toast. So
But you never know.
well, you know, I mean,
or you do know.
This is true.
You do know. Just don't
So
be getting your
I
wires
guess
crossed, Miriam.
The one thing I've always wondered, okay, so you haunt Graceland, you haunt Las Vegas, maybe you haunt Tupelo, Mississippi, where you were born. Can your spirit do that? I mean, in the afterlife, you can pop around to where you want to be. I mean, you don't need frequent flyer miles to go between places.
You can go wherever you want to go. That's a great thing about being out of body. But then some of us can do that in body too. So, he is just like kind of driving people crazy. Like he was so, there's a part like he was so uncomfortable and yet so, like he was so uncomfortable and unhappy, but did not want to die.
Right.
Was scared to death to die. So he is, I don't want to use the word stuck, but he is in between realms, and he is going around, and people are seeing him, and that is him. And that is very much that is him. Like, that is what he's like. If you go to any of those places, you could see him for the low price of $99. You could see
$99.99. Yes, exactly. But wait, there's more. Yeah, I mean, I've been to Graceland several times. I mean, I didn't see the ghost of Elvis, but I mean, you can feel an energy, definitely. I mean, it was his house. You know, he recorded music there. But, you know, the guy got famous so fast. He was so young. It was kind of hard to handle everything. Of course, later in life, you know, had issues with drugs and, you know, things like that. So if you visit the beautiful Hilton in Las Vegas, Nevada today, you never know. You might rub elbows with Elvis, it sounds like.
Yeah, he's around for sure.
So Elvis has not left the building, if people know that. Yeah, teed it up. I love it. Whoa, hold it. Take it easy there, Rick. Mama Cass. Mama Cass was the former lead singer of the Mamas and the Papas. She died on July 29th, 1974 in London, but had lived in Los Angeles. Actor Dan Aykroyd, of course, of Ghostbusters fame, who owned Cass's former home in L.A. and then sold it in 2007, says he was convinced the spirit that haunted his home was that of Mama Cass. Aykroyd reported her ghost moving jewelry around the home, turning on and off his Stairmaster, and even climbed into bed with him. So and there's Mama Cass right there. So she lives in L.A., dies in London, but somehow comes back to L.A.
How did she die?
It might have been a heart attack, I think. You know, the urban legend was that she like choked on a sandwich or some crap like that. But no, she like had like a coronary thing, I think is how she died.
Well, here's the thing. I don't want to go up against Dan Aykroyd. I'm not going to say that Dan Aykroyd was lying or wrong.
He's going to come and find you.
We're just going to go with that. No, I'm just, fortunately, I agree with him. She is, she's not only is she still there, but she sings. I'm surprised he didn't hear her. That's someone that if you heard, like, I would not be shocked if people said they heard her singing or heard someone singing or something like that, you know?
Right.
Because she's definitely, did you know Dan Aykroyd and his son formed a UFO investigation group in Canada? I did not know that.
I didn't know that either. Interesting.
That is. So yeah, she's definitely there, and she's still there, and I'm wondering if it's interesting because the people that are in that house now may not feel it the way Dan Aykroyd did, just because they aren't open and they're not open, and they aren't willing to like brush it off, and it's not real and whatever. They're either doing that or they definitely have, because she's like fills that home still, like fills that home.
A lot of energy. Well, I think that her and her band hung out there a lot. Maybe because she knew Dan Aykroyd was a famous actor, you know, it was that type of thing that she's like, oh, this guy's pretty cool. He's living in my house. He's a famous, the whole Blues Brothers thing.
When you're a spirit, you don't really care about famous stuff.
You're like, I'm dead. I really don't care.
Spirits don't care about that. Like our spirits don't. But she just is. She's minding her. She's not. Actually, that's not true. On one hand, she's just filling that place with herself, and it's not bad. But she will kind of like tease and mess with people if they'll listen or they'll hear, like if they're open to it, But she's definitely there. And once she realized Dan Aykroyd or that person knew that and was acknowledging it and seeing it, it was going on more often. And yeah, did someone just say she needs to cross over?
That's what Holly had asked.
Oh,
so
Holly said that.
She's still there then. I mean, it's
obviously, yeah. She just doesn't want to cross over, but she's still there, yeah.
Still rocking out. California dreaming. Okay. God, I remember this when this happened. John Lennon, the former singer of the Beatles, died on December 8th of 1980 on New York's Upper West Side when he was shot by 25-year-old Mark David Chapman. There have been numerous reports of his ghostly apparition being seen near the Dakota. That's the apartment building of which in front of he was gunned down. Horrible, tragic. There it is right there. Of course, him and his wife, Yoko Ono. Legendary, incredible musician, and all the other things he did, humanitarian. What do you think? Is John still here or in England or other places, or is he crossed over?
Let's see. He's crossed over, but it doesn't mean he hasn't come back to visit.
Yeah, because I know like Paul McCartney, of the Beatles, and I think yet again our guy Liam, whatever his name is, Gallagher from Oasis, I think he says he's been visited by John Lennon, I believe. But so maybe he crossed over, but are you able to do that? Like, hey, wait a second, I want to go back. You can do that.
Yeah, and he's not wanting to go back. Listen, when you're not in body, you can go and do pretty much whatever you want based on, it's like everyone has their own spiritual development and evolvement. So when we say cross over, it just means that you have understood your transition and have taken the transition and embodied it. But when people haven't crossed over, there's this, this fear of moving on, this fear of letting go, this not wanting to do that. So, if you're out of body and you've crossed over, you can. But there's also something to say for the collective consciousness that will see things and create things. There's like this residual effect that can be there. So he has come back for very specific reasons, but he doesn't come back and, for random reasons and just hang out so people see him. He's very similar to Jim Morrison. He's very deliberate with what he does and why he does it. When he crosses back onto the earthly plane, it's for very specific reasons. It's to communicate with specific people. It's not to just be like, oh, look at me, I'm here. He's doing he's working on both realms. He's working from the spirit realm. He's working with people on the earthly realm. So he's very deliberate with what he does and very aware of his transition and what to do with it and how to use it and how to be of service to help others with it. So he's very deliberate with what he's doing.
Okay. All right, Rick, I know we're up against the clock. Who do we got next? Oh, yeah, Kurt Cobain. He was the former lead singer for grunge band Nirvana. On April 8th, of 1994, Cobain was found dead in his home in Seattle, Washington, with fresh injection marks in both arms and a fatal wound to the head from the 20-gauge shotgun found between his knees. He killed himself in a greenhouse on his property. His widow, Courtney Love, reported seeing his ghost in their Seattle home. Side note, there's a bench that sits in the middle of nearby, I think it's Veretta Park, near the home that Cobain once owned with Courtney Love. Has been covered with messages from people making a pilgrimage there to see the location. I've been there. There's definitely a lot of energy. The guy was an incredible musician, but of course had a lot of darkness in his life with, drug addiction and things like that. Is he still in that house? Is he still haunting the house?
I I did a whole read, which you can go see on my Instagram, on Kurt Cobain. And at that time, from what I remember, he was stuck, and there was someone like holding him there. And so I did a bunch of work with him, but he's not for us to talk to yet. He's a very, very damaged soul, and it's not for us to interfere with him. So we'll just jump to the next one.
Okay. All right.
So Hank Williams Sr.
Yeah, not Junior. Hank Williams is considered one of the most popular American country music singer-songwriters with songs like Cold, Cold Heart, You're Cheatin' Heart, Hey, Good Lookin'. He died of a heart attack at the age of 29 in 1953 in the backseat of his Cadillac in Oak Hill, West Virginia. Now, many said his heart failure was caused by drug issues and alcohol. Several employees at the legendary Ryman Auditorium in Nashville, which was the Grand Ole Opry's home from 1963 to 1974, say they have seen the ghost of Williams in the building. Few employees believe they've actually seen Williams's ghost, but many people report seeing white ghostly figures that could have been him. Of course, many legendary country singers played there that have also passed on. Could be somebody else, but very talented guy. Another tragic death, booze and pills, and, died in the backseat of a car in West Virginia.
Yes, I'm listening. I don't feel him at all. He feels long gone. He feels like he was around when it first happened. And so people hearing things, seeing things, yes, but he's long gone. And he was gone almost not by choice. Like meaning like once he crossed over, it was like his soul away went into like a class, and then was. Well,
if you look at the pictures of him, and Adam brought it up, and I wanted to double check. He says only 29. I thought he was older. If you look at the pictures of him, he looks like he's lived a pretty hard 29 years.
Yeah.
I thought he was in his 40s when he died.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was only 29 years old.
Why do we get headaches like I've been hit on the head with Hank? That's interesting. Let's see. I'm looking. Hold on, Jordan. Anger. He had a lot of anger. And he did. I think he had really bad migraines.
Interesting.
But he was like swooped up when he passed over, and he's like, I don't even know if he's come back through in body, but he's not accessible. So
probably that's not him at the Ryman Auditorium. That it could be another
not
spirit.
Now, but for a while after his passing, he was allowed to visit, but it's not now. It's not him.
Okay. Sid Vicious, for you Sex Pistols fans out there, he was a punk rock pioneer, bassist for the Sex Pistols, found dead in New York City on February 2nd of 1979. It was less than 4 months after the death of his girlfriend, Nancy Spungen. Vicious stood accused of murdering her in the bathroom of their suite at Chelsea Hotel. It was pretty brutal. She was stabbed to death. For years, residents and visitors of the hotel claimed to have seen the ghost of Sid Vicious close to the first floor elevator. In some cases, guests have reported paranormal activity in and around room 100, including large temperature fluctuations and floating orbs. Some guests have even reported loud music coming from room 100, and others have heard the loud voices of a couple arguing, like Sid and Nancy, but after checking, they find the room empty. So, iconic rock star, brutal drug addiction, violence issues. Not sure if he did kill his girlfriend or not, but is Sid still rocking out in Greenwich Village, or what's going on with him?
Yeah, that was they never determined who killed her, huh?
I don't think so. I mean, he was charged, but he was, dead before there was any type of a trial or anything like that.
And how did he die? Drugs?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, heroin, I think. Yeah.
And is that his girlfriend in the pictures, obviously?
Yeah, that's Nancy.
Okay. I don't.
A lot of anger with that guy. Do you feel any anger? Because I heard there's a lot of, well, of course he was a punk rocker, so that was kind of the whole persona of being a punk
I'm
rocker.
not feeling like he was the one that killed her. It feels like maybe a drug dealer. I'm just like kind of saying like someone who was detached but attached enough that wanted something from them. I don't feel like it was him. Yeah, maybe they fought a lot, but I mean, yeah, he's, quite a piece of work. But
Hey, Sean said that, the leading theory is that their dealer killed Nancy. So you nailed it then.
All right. Well, that solves that problem. But he's
a crazy guy, man.
Yeah.
Sid Vicious is a wild man.
I mean, this is someone who's pretty messed up. Hold on. I'm trying to see if he's. Yeah, I feel like he's still in between, and he's still like, it's like he's trying to get out. Like, I don't understand what he's trying to get out of. What is he trying? What are you trying to do? Let me see if he'll talk to me. I think he's stuck. Whereas the others weren't stuck. I shouldn't have used that word. They were there by choice. He feels stuck. Like this, like he's like vibrating inside like a cage and he can't get out. So let me see if I can help him. Jordan, are you there with me? I just felt Jordan. I was like, hey, Jordan, what are you doing here? Sid's like, you going to get me out of this cage or? Okay, I'm just trying to I'm seeing, I don't know, this is his doing, so I don't know if they'll let me do anything with him. Yeah, they're not letting me. I'm there. Yes.
In spirit, literally.
I felt Jordan walk in. He is screaming. Oh my God. Oh, excuse me.
He's knowing him, he probably is screaming the F word.
But what's funny is before I opened my eyes, I just saw him screaming and they were like, no, just leave him. And I was like, okay. And then Jordan said that. That is so funny. Jordan and I don't even need to talk. We just look right here.
The connection across the pond.
And what was so funny is that if you could see this guy, he is just like freaking out and angry and screaming. And then I'm standing there, I'm watching him and like going, okay. And then all of a sudden Jordan walks up. I'm like, hey, Jordan, me and Jordan are here talking. And this guy's just like, losing his shit. And I'm like, what's going on? What are you doing here?
No way.
That was crazy.
All right. Make sure we take that clip, Rick. We need to hold on to that one. All right,
so funny.
All right, Rick, we got Bon Scott, my favorite band. Bon Scott was the legendary frontman for AC/DC. He died in England on February 19th of 1980. Passed away in his car and ultimately choked to death on his own vomit. He was only 33 years old. Jeez. Brian Johnson was invited to join AC/DC after Scott's death. Obviously, he had some big shoes to fill. The night before the band was scheduled to go into the studio to record Back in Black, one of the greatest albums of all time, Johnson was staying at a hotel and his nerves were getting the best of him. Johnson refuses to say exactly what happened in that hotel room that night, but he says that he experienced something that he couldn't explain. So did Bon Scott go and see Brian Johnson and give him his blessing before they recorded Back in Black?
So underneath the guy with the hat, is
that's Brian Johnson, and Bon Scott's the guy, the two at the very top.
Okay. It was Bon Scott English. Did he have an English accent?
He does, but I thought that AC/DC was Australian. I'm not positive about that. Maybe somebody can let me know on the chat.
Well, then maybe to be fair, it wasn't an English accent, but I'm hearing an accent coming from Bon Scott, and I'm also hearing him, like the interaction with
Yeah, Brian Johnson was English, I think, and then Bon Scott was Australian, I think.
Okay.
Oh, Scottish. I'm sorry, Scottish.
Okay, so I'm hearing Bon Scott, like to, I'm forgetting these names, to Johnson. What's the other guy? Brian Johnson.
Yeah,
like,
Brian Johnson, the guy in the hat.
Like basically, in a way, in a loving way, kind of like push him and be like, just what are you doing? What are you doing, bro? Just go. Like, what's going on? Why are you feeling this? Like, they almost had like this conversation, like this exchange that if you don't, follow your intuition, and or you aren't a practicing psychic or medium, you try to make sense of it by putting it in words, but you can't put it into words. But they did have this exchange that was intense, but loving and supportive. But I say loving and supportive in a Bon Scott way. I don't know Bon Scott, but his version of loving and supportive would be to hit you or push you, or like kind of like, like slap you, smack, like get out of it, like pull out of it. But right. He does it with genuine like love. He just is like a rough and tumble guy, but will support you if you like. He'll help you if you're down, and that's what he did. And that was his final. He connected with Johnson before he finally left and was done. It was like that was important to him. Mm-hmm. that connection was made, that band meant a lot to him, that those people in the band were family for him, and so that was important that he finalized that before he moved on.
Yeah, let's see, we got 4 minutes. I don't know, Rick, what can we do? You want to try? Okay, Frank Sinatra died May 14th of 1998. Now, in the 90s, country singing power couple Tim McGraw and Faith Hill, I'll try to go through this quickly, moved into Sinatra's Malibu home. And basically their daughter, Gracie, was at a piano, was not sitting in the middle of the piano. She was off to the left of it, and said, they're like, why are you not sitting there? Because, there's another guy there. She goes upstairs. She sees a picture of Sinatra on the wall. It says, oh, that's the guy that was sitting next to me on the piano. And then she actually reported seeing him in the kitchen also. So it was Sinatra communicating with Tim and Faith McGraw's kid, Gracie.
Tim McGraw's so cute.
I'd say Faith Hill's kind of cute.
Can I get past that?
Right. Star, Mississippi.
Right.
I mean, Faith Hill's stunning, of course, but Tim McGraw's really cute. Yes, Frank Sinatra was there. I don't know that he still is, but she did have that was very real. Yes.
Old Blue Eyes. Maybe, it was one of those places where he entertained all the movie stars and musicians back in the day, had those swank Hollywood parties. Maybe it's like still kicking. Now, has he crossed over though, real quick?
He visits. He comes back and forth. He's happily moved on, but he does come back and forth.
Now, what's interesting is the gal from the Office apparently bought that house because it was up for rent for a while. So I think she was the latest owner. So then the question is I wonder if she's if she would have any encounters. But it depends on how open she is to it.
That's awesome.
I kind of was like, I wouldn't consider Frank a rock legend, but just
I know. I had to throw it in there. I thought it was just such a great story.
He's a legend.
Just the story. Well, yeah. I mean, I just don't think of rock, but I was like, the story alone was like, gotta actually touch on that. Hey,
hey,
is this
Chicago? Chicago.
I'm still caught up in me and Jordan hanging out in the with
that's just like strolling along the sidewalk and just being like, "Hey, you're here, right? What?
Hey, you!"
God, that was so funny. Oh well, guess you got to be there.
Well, apparently, apparently
yeah,
you two were.
Rick and I can't. We wish we could, but we can't join you guys.
VIP only.
Yeah, exactly right. Get behind the door. The good news is that technically we wouldn't have to wrap up, which is why I'm not pushing it, because Greg is not following us on Pun TV. So, we could actually go. We could go for another hour.
I'm so hungry.
She has to go pee. I think her pee clock is hit.
There's either that or she's getting very hangry. So it's one of the two could happen, and you don't want to see her hangry. So,
the dog's probably got to take a little walk, I'm assuming, too.
Yeah, well, Bruce walked him earlier, so he's actually good, but I need a walk and I want to eat. But anyway, sorry, go ahead, Rick. What were you saying?
Oh, no, I was just saying that we could just blab. That's why, I wasn't rushing to wrap us up.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I was like, I got to speed through this.
What are we doing next week? Do we know?
Well, next week's supposed to be our Black History special, right? We moved it to next week.
It was moved to the 25th. Remember?
Oh.
Well, I thought we moved it to next week.
No.
Oh
God! Do I have to come up with another show? Great. Although I've got one in my mind. So.
Oh my God! My mom just texted and said how funny that Mama Cass was messing with a Ghostbuster.
Isn't that's the irony? Right?
It's pretty ironic. It's not like that. Well, we'll have something exciting and interesting.
I guess we need to clarify that.
You'll find out, people. You find out before we find out.
Yes, I have no idea what we're going to have on.
We have no idea what we're doing.
It's okay. We make it look good either way. Guys, thanks so much for joining us tonight. As always, we appreciate you, love you. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, do all the crazy stuff, because that just helps us out. And hey, have a rocking, awesome, cool week.
Yeah.
Thanks for celebrating with us tonight.